Welcome to the Journaling Room Live with me, your host, Camille-ilona. Just here to talk about all things journaling, publishing, and leaving a legacy. It's great to be on here. Hope everyone is well. I'm here every Monday, 9 p.m. GMT, which is 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for those across the pond in the States. Always great to be on and be joining you. Do let me know where you're joining from. I've been having different guests with me every week for the past 3 weeks. This is week 4, and today it's a solo show. So every 3 or 4 shows, I'll jump on and do a solo show, just really to talk about my passion, which is journaling and writing. So again, do let me know where you're joining from and what you've been thinking about. So today, we want to talk about giving your thoughts somewhere to land, which I always encourage people to write, to journal, and to allow your thoughts to land on the page. There's real power in journaling for mental health. And I do remember speaking to, she was my speaking agent at the time. And, we were talking about different things, and sadly, it was her nephew had passed away. He had sadly taken his own life, but he was like the life and soul of the party. He had a great job. So much things going for him, was in a great relationship. Just everything just looked like it was going right. He well traveled, and went to the cinema with his girlfriend, and sadly took his life that night, and no one saw it coming. It was an incredibly sad funeral. And she just said, all the pictures, he was just laughing and joking, and just a really happy person. And I said to her, he was smiling through depression. No one saw it, no one could call it. And for me, again, it's just sometimes there's things that we may not even be able to say to anyone else, but to be able to take to the page, and to write. And she said, that's a great speaking title for you. And I said, me? I wasn't smiling through wait, was I? And ended up writing a book, Smiling Through Depression. Lots of my books and journals and everything else can be seen on my Stan store. I'll drop the link for you. But again, talking about giving your thoughts somewhere to land, and the power of writing, the power of using your pen, using that as an outlet to just exhale. Some things you can say to people, some things you can't. And the page, it doesn't judge you. You can just write unfiltered and just let it flow out, just raw, unedited. Just let all the thoughts land. I do a lot of coaching, and one of the things that people often say is sometimes their thoughts, especially when it comes to, their branding and their messaging, and a lot of the work that I do, and their book and the theme, and what to actually say. They say it's like their thoughts are like spaghetti, and just a good session of writing, journaling, speaking, whatever that is, but giving the thoughts somewhere to land. So suddenly it's no longer spaghetti, but they're clear, concise. They know what they're saying. They understand what their message is and what they're trying to communicate. So welcome to the Journaling Room Live. This is a space on a Monday, at this time, same place, just for you to think, feel, process, and flow. Speaking about all things journaling, writing, publishing, and also leaving a legacy. So today, I wanted to speak about giving your thoughts somewhere to land. And a few weeks ago, I had the privilege of speaking at a women's event, and I kind of shared, my story, and gave a short keynote. And I shared 3 journaling prompts. And I met with a lady last Saturday, a mutual friends party, and she was like, "Oh, Camille, you spoke about journaling, and you shared 3 journaling prompts." And she said, "Camille, I have been using those journaling prompts every day since that event in March." And she said, "It's given me so much clarity when I'm too much in my head, I go to those prompts and it just lands me beautifully, and it stops me spiraling and getting into these spiraling thoughts that I just don't need to be in. And so I wanted to share those 3 prompts with you today. Welcome. Please let me know who's here and who's joining. Hey, Valerie, great to see you. We had Valerie last week and we had an absolute blast. No, week before. We had an absolute blast. So do check out the show that we did speaking about her book, Stepping Out of Fear. And I hope you were inspired by that and have been stepping out of fear. Really, really powerful message. And I've got so many more people lined up. I'm so excited about the conversations that will be coming, that we'll be having, just lining the guests up, and people are really excited to come on and share. So thank you for those that are joining, that are in, wherever you're on YouTube, on Facebook. Great to have you here. So this lady said that she really enjoyed the prompts that I shared that day. 3 very simple prompts, which I'm going to share with you today. So if you want to grab your journal or phone, make a note of them. They're really great prompts to use every day. We have Juanita on. Great to see you, honey. She said, this is so awesome. Good to have you here. So yeah, I'll be sharing those three prompts that she said she's been using every day for the past few weeks, and it's been really helping her get out of her head and get out of spirals a lot quicker. So the first prompt is, how am I really doing? And this is a really great place to start when you want to journal. And you know, people pass you that, oh, how are you? You're like, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm good. But actually, no, pause. How are you really doing? And it's a great prompt to sit with, you know, even by yourself, just sitting. How not just how am I doing? How am I really doing? How am I really feeling? What are some thoughts that, you know, sometimes there's something really important that you need to think about, process and deal with, but you just don't have time. And so it's kind of just in the back of your mind somewhere, and it's like, I'll get to it. But how am I really doing? What are them thoughts that are just lingering in the back that I actually need to capture and sit with and spend time with processing? How am I really doing? How am I really feeling? Again, there's so many times where you just shove feelings to the side because it's like, I don't have time to feel these feelings right now. I've got too much to do, and you just go running and you're doing and all the things, and these feelings and emotions are sitting unprocessed. So how am I really doing? It's a really powerful prompt to get you started with journaling, or just to journal with every day or as often as you can. It may just be something that you sit and think about sometimes, you know, when you have a moment on the train, traveling, in your car, walking, just how am I really doing? And having that conversation with yourself. The second prompt that I shared on that day that this lady spoke about was, what is my prayer for me today? Oftentimes, and this particular event was a lot for women and self-care and kind of taking care of themselves, and I was dealing with the taking care of yourself mentally. And what's my prayer for me today? You know, again, so often we're thinking about, this person needs this, that person needs that, I need to do that for that person and everyone else. But what is my prayer and my desire for me today? And again, not like in life and, you know, for my future, no, just today. What is that thing that I need for me, that I need from the Lord for me today? I think it's really important because, again, often we're thinking of everyone else and not taking the time to consider ourselves. So today we're speaking about giving your thoughts somewhere to land. And the final prompt that I shared at this event, and I'd love your feedback on these prompts and how these prompts are, if you've thought about them before or if they're bringing anything up for you, it'd be really helpful to hear that. But the final one is my favorite prompt in the world, and I share this often and everywhere as often as I can, so I'm really grateful to be able to share this with you today. And it is simply this. It's a prayer. It's a prompt, but it's a prayer. And it's, Lord, what do you see when you see me? I'll say it again for those in the back. Lord, what do you see when you see me? It's a really, it's really special to sit with that, and just write whatever comes to your mind and to your heart. And it's often a really beautiful flow. So I just encourage you, as often as you can, just sit with that one and just allow the Lord to just download into your heart and mind what it is that he sees when he sees you. So these are three really simple prompts. I'll repeat them again. How am I really doing? What is my prayer for me today? And Lord, what do you see when you see me? These are really special prompts. And as I said, the lady that heard me speak a few weeks ago, she's been journaling these prompts every day, and it's been really helping her get out of her head. Again, having somewhere for your thoughts to land on the page. Sometimes my journal entries become prayers. It just be conversations with myself, conversations with God, but just being able to exhale on the page, it really helps you reduce the mental clutter. Sometimes we're carrying such a mental load. So being able to take to the page, let your thoughts land somewhere, because again, sometimes the thoughts are just all up here, but give them somewhere to land, and then when you've got them on the paper, you can organize them. And often I find that the answers are already in us as well. The answers are here, but we just need that space and that clarity to be able to think. And as I always say, to think. And when I can think clearly, how am I doing? What's going on? Let me capture my thoughts, put them on the page. Then I can feel, how am I actually feeling? Not just I'm fine, but no, how am I really feeling? I'm quite annoyed about that, and I'm angry about that. I feel quite sad about that. But we can actually begin to tap into our emotions. How am I really feeling? So we think, we feel, and then we can begin to process. Then we can begin to make sense of things. Then we can begin to bring order out of chaos and begin to organize our thoughts, structure, put a list together, get an action plan, start putting goals in place, think, feel, process. Then we begin to flow. As many of you know, my first book was called Finding Divine Flow, and that's just a continual journey of finding my flow. But my flow is when I'm in that place where I'm doing that thing that I do that I don't even recognize the time anymore, because I'm just in my flow. So think, feel, process, and flow. And taking the thoughts down, putting them on the page is a real great place to start in terms of clearing that mental clutter. It's great for your mental health, and it's really good to help you emotionally process what's going on. I found that journaling helped me have kind of conversations with myself and understand how I'm doing, how I'm feeling, how I'm processing certain things. And when I was able to have a better conversation with myself and with the Lord, I was able to have a better conversation with other people, because I'm starting to understand myself better, and how I'm doing, how I'm feeling, how I'm processing, how I'm flowing through life. So I hope this has been encouraging, uplifting, helpful, just sharing some of my journaling prompts. People are always asking me how I journal. I was able to write my first book through journaling because of many, many years of journaling. On the go, journaling off the cuff, journaling at set times, journaling when I'm going through something and I need to process, journaling all different parts and stages of life. One of my favorite apps is Day One. It's literally called that, Day One. It's blue and white, and I love that app. I've been using it for many, many years. I speak about it all the time, and I love it because I really get to, I type, so I can use it on my phone, I can use it on my computer, I can audio because I love to talk, as you can tell. I can have videos and pictures and all sorts in there. And it's funny because I was sending a voice note, another thing that I love to do because I love to talk, sending a long voice note to a friend of mine. And because I use the Day One app, I said to her, thanks for being my Day One today, because I was able to process some of the things that were on my mind by speaking out loud to her. So again, some of the ways we let our thoughts land is in conversation. Conversations are a really powerful way of processing. And I think because I'm such a deep journaler and processor, I often have friends and people that are like, they leave me long voice notes because they like to process with me, because it's good having people and places that you can kind of unpick your thoughts and have that freedom to flow. So thank you, Valerie. Valerie said that these are brilliant prompts. I'll repeat them at the end. And Susan, thank you for joining us. She said, this is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, Susan. Great to have you on. So this is Mondays at 9, where I just jump on for like 20 minutes or so and speak about journaling, publishing, and leaving a legacy. And the formula that I always use for writing is giving your thoughts somewhere to land and helping you think, feel, process, and flow. So the 3 prompts again, for those just joining us, I shared them at an event that I was at a few weeks ago, and a lady met me at the weekend and just said, I've been using these prompts every single day since, and it's been helping me be sharper, be clearer, get out of that fog so much quicker that she would have been swirling in for a long time. And it was, number one, how am I really doing? Asking that real question, how am I really doing? Not just how am I doing, I'm fine. No, how am I really doing? I'm really digging in. And second, what is my prayer for me today? Again, we're often focused on everyone else, but what's my prayer for me today? And finally, my favorite prompt in the world is, Lord, what do you see when you see me? Really powerful to sit with that and just allow the Lord just listen and just hear, write what you hear and feel and sense. And it's a really, really beautiful time when you're able to do that. So thank you for joining me today. Next week and over the next few weeks, I will have more guests on speaking about journaling, publishing, and leaving a legacy. Speaking to authors that I've been working with. I've already had Latoya Grace on speaking about her book, Worship Therapy, that we did last year, and I had Valerie on, who's joining us today. Great to have you on, Valerie. And we spoke about her book, Step Out of Fear. And last week we were joined by Gozen and her book, Wife in the Waiting. So many different incredible people that I have been working with behind the scenes, who have gone from writing to publishing, and I've helped them on that self-publishing journey. And the books and the things that they've created. People often come to me with one book and leave with like 3 or 4, and businesses and coaching programs and all different things. And so I really enjoy helping people pull that book out of them. Sometimes I get alongside and I'm the book midwife and I'm telling them to bear down and push, and we're getting that book out of them. So some people have a book and they want to self-publish, and others have a business that they're trying to build around. So we, create a book or a podcast, whatever it may be, from that, and also helping them with their brand story. That's something that I've been doing a lot recently, working with individuals on helping them on their branding and their brand story and the story that their brand is telling. It's really, really powerful. So much can come out of that once you are solid in who it is I am, who it is I serve, and how I serve them and how I communicate. And so again, if anyone's interested, do reach out. It would be an honor to work with you, to serve you, to help you pull that book out of you, pull that brand message and that story out of you so that you can communicate it authentically. I always say that journaling and writing, letting your thoughts land on the page, is a beautiful place of vulnerability. If you can be really vulnerable and transparent in the journaling, when you then speak to people and come out, you come across so much more authentic. So you go from private vulnerability to public authenticity. And when you're able to be authentic and people feel you, you're able to have more authority in the space in which you operate, because people believe you, because they can feel that vulnerability and that transparency and that authenticity. So if anyone's interested in any of the journals or books or anything that I've spoken about, more journaling prompts or some of my books, they're available on my Stand store. I will drop the link again. But thank you for joining me. I look forward to the next couple of weeks where I will have different authors on who will be joining me right here in the journaling room. As many of you know, I started out with House of Ilona, which was my fashion brand. And in my father's house, there are many mansions. So right now we're in the journaling room where we're talking about journaling, publishing, and leaving a legacy. It's been awesome being on here today. I hope these prompts have been helpful. Thank you so much for joining me. And I look forward to seeing you same time, same place next week on the live stream. Much love and blessings to you. Have a great week. Bless you. Bye bye.